Bam, we in there. What's
That'll
up,
work.
Facebook? Y'all know who it is. It's your boy Sincere, sincerely speaking. About to have some fun. Man, I'm tired, man. I just got done working out. Feel like Mr. I can't even say your name, man. I be wanting to say the other part that you done took out.
Hey man.
It throws me off every time. But y'all know what it is. We got my guy Big B here again. Then, of course, Mr. Permission Slip is back yet again. And we done added my guy Will. Will done came on and joined the crew. So we're gonna have some fun today.
Greet him
Um,
appropriately.
Like I don't know. I
he
don't know
said,
what to do
"Greet
with my
him
hands.
appropriate."
You see the shirt.
There we go.
Oh man.
But yeah, so we titled this. This was all Big B's idea. I did like the concept after he explained it to me, so I'm gonna let him explain it to y'all too, because I'm gonna let him run with it. So it's titled Cigar 30, and Big B, if you want to kind of explain the background to that title.
Absolutely appreciate you, Sincere. So Cigar 30, this show was done very well with getting out advice to the opposite sex, whether it's men to women or women to men. But I wanted to do something different. I think that it was time for us to take a turn and pivot towards um, getting to the root cause of the problem. So with that being said, I said, you know what? How about we do something I did back way decades plus back, Cigar 30, where the boys we sit down and we have a conversation. We talk about what we got to do for ourselves, or we try to bring the next set of guys up, which we should have been doing already. And I feel like it's never too late to get started. So that being said, this is going to be Cigar 30. We're going to start talking about things and having topics that for the base level or the foundational level, man, what he needs to start working on and start doing before he get out here, start seeking a relationship with a woman. That being said, I'm getting back to our conversation that we had earlier, guys. And oh man, what was the first thing we brought up?
It was a lot. Hold on,
It
let
was a
me go
lot.
back to the text.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me see. I'm trying to think. Yeah, let me go back here because it was a lot of good stuff.
Yeah. So I found it. I found it. So the first thing we brought up, it was what should a man have before seeking a committed relationship with a good woman? And why is it important? Well, we know a lot of basic things, but I don't want to go first. I think we got to let the newbie go, break him in the right way.
Yeah.
Will, how you feel about that, man? I mean, Wakanda forever, my brother. What's going on with you?
Uh, man, as far as like seeking a relationship, you gotta know what you're going to bring to the table and what you expect to come back to you. I know that if I'm seeking a chick for a fun time, I'm gonna find them in a fun place, right?
Facts.
I.e., i.e., club or church.
We said that last week. We said it.
Club or church. You gonna find fun times in the club or church. But to start out to get your head right and wrapped around what you're looking for, you got to know yourself, man. Like you got to know if one, you ready to shut down anybody, shut down any other advances, any other female or male, whichever you rocking that, uh, from that's going to distract you from what you want. That would be like the number one thing that I would say that I put out there personally was like, okay, once I get with this person, if another female came into the picture, am I strong enough to just be like, nah, you know what, I'm in a relationship, I'm cool.
Yeah.
That would be like the main piece in me that would be like, all right, I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready to try to take it to the next step uh with well now my wife with that woman in question, you know.
I got you. That makes sense. That makes sense. Which one of you good gentlemen want to go next?
All right, so before we even do that, I'm just gonna show it. So just for those that didn't see, I just typed that real quick. just to throw it up there. But so that's basically what we're discussing. What should a man have before seeking a committed relationship and why? Mr. Permishlip, you want to go?
Yeah, sure. I think one of the major components is you have to have a plan. And I don't mean a dream, I mean a plan, right? So we've got definitive benchmarks. We are in process. We know where we're headed, right? And that's not to say that everybody's plan should be, I want to be a millionaire and do X, Y, and Z. But you have to know what you're moving towards and what that looks like. Because without those parameters, man, you're just gonna be out here just doing whatever, whenever, right? Having a goal, having a focus, something that you're really sincere.
I was just looking at the comment. Sorry.
I think that without the parameters that come along with having a plan and working towards that plan, like it's really easy to get distracted by date, right? So then your focus becomes, I'm just gonna lock in and knock stuff down, as opposed to I'm trying to get to where I'm getting to. Because even if you get her, if you're not doing what you need to do to be in the right place, you're not going to be able to, one, provide the leadership in the direction that you need to be going in. Two, provide a lifestyle that she's looking for. Oh, this is going to be good. I can't wait to see it.
Nah, I got wifey.
Yeah, I'm sitting here laughing because so
I can't even see the live chat. I'm just
Wow.
well, I'll jump in there and go. So I know for me, before I got into my relationship, my marriage that I've been in for a long time. What is it, going 14 years, I think now? For me, it was, clearly as a man, the main things you need, of course, is your own place. Especially if you're trying to get in a relationship, you need your own place. I can't even say a good job, but a steady job. I mean, because everybody won't have a good paying job, but as long as you got a good steady job that's bringing in and you can pay your bills, enough. What's the secret? Oh, I get to you, Wendine. You have to tell me what secret you're talking about. But
Probably that
having a huh?
14 years. That's what she's talking about.
Hey, ask my wife. But so job, good paying job, have a good, what is it? A car that gets you more than just A and B. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to have that. But something that's really important for a lot of folks, you have to be able to pay your own bills before you worry about bringing in anybody else, because clearly there's a lot of women out here that want to be taken care of. Now, everybody does not fall in that category that they need to be taken care of necessarily. Nowadays you got to chip in to help out, in this day and age. But the one of the biggest thing that I've learned even before getting married, when I was dating, was I had a young lady tell me, and it was cool, but she told me that she wanted to do all these nice things and I didn't have enough money to take her and do all these things. Now, what was funny to me is, now I know we ain't friends on Facebook, so I ain't likely to come back if she say nothing crazy. She was living in an apartment that was based off her income.
That's not an uncommon occurrence.
I know, but how you gonna tell me that I need to have all this and you ain't bringing nothing?
Because it's acceptable. It's acceptable.
We're not gonna go into that. Let's not go into that. Let's not go into that.
But I'm not even gonna go there because we're here to talk to the fellas and tell the fellas on what we need to do. So we're gonna leave that to another show. But if you don't want to deal with those type of conversations, make sure that you're able to take care of everything. Because even in my marriage, if nothing's guaranteed when it comes to a job. I mean, throughout these 14 years that we've been married, both of us have went without a job. And there was a time where I didn't have a regular gig, full-time gig for a year. My wife ran into the same thing. We still was able to sustain and make things happen. Shout out to bank accounts and government funds. Because I swear, when them checks was coming in that they was throwing us, that stuff helped out big time.
Clutch.
But hey, being a homeowner and all that stuff, you just never know. But you always just at the end of the day, as a man, you gotta be able to hustle. I mean, if you don't have a regular full-time job, like I didn't, I was still working. I was out here just grinding, doing whatever I needed to do to make sure I was still bringing in bread. So, you definitely have to make sure that you have that grind mentality, because you don't want to have to depend on a woman. Because trust me, if you do, you're going to hear about it. If you're dating the wrong one, you will hear about it. Now, my wife never said anything. You know what I'm saying? She trusted in the process, and hey, we was good. But there's a lot of women that will throw that in your face, because as they deem things today, if you don't have enough, they're going to let you know. And you're not worthy to be with some of these women out here in their minds, because you're not able to take care of them in a manner that they feel like they deserve to be taken care of, and so on. So I'm gonna get off my high horse though, and we're gonna let Big B go ahead, because he got a pen, so he look like he got something to say.
Nah, man, nah. All y'all said the exact same thing. I mean, Stack started out with basically having that foundation, having a place to stay. Sincere, hey, yeah, he changed it. I see.
Yeah, I know. I just saw it.
I was debating whether I was gonna change it like every 5 or 10 minutes, but I'm gonna stick with it.
And when you said Stack, I was like, "Who the heck is Stack?" And then I looked over.
But
go ahead.
To your point, a relationship is a partnership too. Sincere, but Mr. Permission Slip, what you said, that leadership that I think a lot of women would like to have in a man, that's very important too. And a man has to know how to go about learning how to provide that, having those goals and those grounded, that ground set beneath him to go forward and do that. So it's hard for me to follow up anything you guys said.
Discipline.
Discipline is a good one. Discipline goes back to what Stack said too, as far as not going on to the next chick and trying to go and, she looked and she's talking. Hey man, let that be. You got something good at the house, bro.
I mean, even beyond that, like with yourself and your like to get to where Stacks is talking about, or Sincere was talking about, when you got to have your own place, like that requires discipline. It's much easier for you to live pretty loose. I mean, for sure. Like we all remember the dude who got his first apartment. It was a beanbag chair, some trays to eat off of, like 4 bowls. Like it's whatever. Like, because I'm gonna spend to the absolute limit. But to get to where most of us want to get to in life, it requires a little bit of discipline. And it's not like long-term discipline. It's literally like day-to-day, decision to decision discipline. What I want versus what I need. And when you get in that relationship, you're going to have to be able to stand in your discipline and go, we're going to do this instead of that, because this is our long-term goal, and that's what it takes. And if you don't have the discipline to kind of stand in there and the confidence to stand in those decisions, you're going to get walked over and bury yourself.
Agreed.
To somebody else.
And to even speak to that too. Oh, my bad. Will, you about to say something?
You good? You good?
I called you Will. Let me go back. Stack. You can go ahead. You got something to say?
Oh no, I was just agreeing with him, man. I feel like all of us have that story that you had. That young lady just told you flat out, "Hey, I like to do this, this, and this. If you can't do that, then I can't mess with you." It's ugly when it comes down to it, but it's that shock to that system. Like, yo, if somebody comes at me like this, they're already assuming that I can't.
Yeah.
They already got that feeling in them that I am not able to provide, whether it's by how I talk or how I move. They're already feeling that. And when and this is my experience, I'm not the guru, but when a woman feels that about you, when she feels like you can't provide, that opens the door for anybody else.
Yeah.
Anybody else that can step in, step up, and do what they feel.
Yeah. and I don't know, for me, even with my story that I mentioned, like it was a humbling experience, I'll say, because she went as far as she accidentally texted me when she meant to text somebody else saying, oh, I think I hurt his little feelings. And I was like,
Cut him deep.
I was like, dang, like that deep, like, and I've always been the type of dude that, I've never really been crazy on spending money. Like I like to spend money. I'm big on gifts, but I've also been that same guy that if I don't have the money, I'm gonna get creative. My mom taught me how to cook when I was young, so I used to cook for women all the time. Uh, we can go do different things, parks, and go do a picnic. Because that's one thing about me too, and I feel like that's another thing that can kind of tie into this when we talking to fellas. Quit spending all y'all doggone money going to these expensive restaurants trying to get to know people. And
That's not what they're trying to do. Say what they're trying to do. We're talking to dudes. We're talking to
okay,
dudes today.
stop spending all the money to pay for booty when you could be technically
Get the drop.
doing different things. Like, I mean, do something. Honestly, in my opinion, I've never understood, even though I've done it in my younger days, but as I got older, I never understood going to the movies on the first date or going to dinner necessarily on the first date. Specifically for me, because how do you get to really know somebody? I mean, yeah, you can talk a little bit, but then you got to stop and eat. If with those first few dates, you really need to be trying to get to know that person before you spending all that money in the first place. Because in my opinion, if a woman is focusing on how much money you spending on them in the beginning, that's all they're gonna be focused on throughout your relationship. But if they're taking the time to actually get to know you, and let's be real, if a man don't have sex with a woman, he's gonna be truly getting to know you. Once you give up them draws, he might not be as interested as he was before.
Why are you lying? Why are you lying?
Which
you can check. You can check. I can check all the getting to know you boxes in order to get the draws and not care at all.
Bingo.
Like, listen, come on, man. We talking to dudes today. Don't do that. Tell the truth.
I'm just saying. I'm just being honest. There's a lot of dudes though. Once you, for a lot of guys, once they smash, and y'all can say if y'all done it too. Many times, once you've messed with a chick, if you got the draw, sometimes the getting to know phase is out the window because now
that's because I didn't want to get to know her in the first place. If I wanted to get to know her and it happened on the first day or the 100th day, it doesn't mean anything different. If I didn't want to really get to know you and I'm just trying to GTD, as Stack has said, then that's the goal. Like, however long that takes is however long that takes. Persistence is something that dudes have mastered over time, right? Like, oh, if you give me a standard in order to accomplish my goal, I'm going to meet the standard. So you got to wait 90 days. On day 91, guess who calling? And then after that, what's going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, but I feel like we're kind of saying the same thing, but we're not.
All right.
So, Stacks got something to say. Go ahead.
I'm just laughing because he's hitting the nail on the head. The one thing that we're all taught as black men in America is be chameleons. You can be a chameleon. I can be anything you need me to be. I can be the roughneck, or I can be the suit and tie. Hello. My name is Jonathan Anderson. Like, you know what I'm saying? So when you talking about like getting to know somebody, that puts a time frame on things that you want to potentially happen. If you go in there with the idea of, hey, I want to get the draws, then you're going to do what you need to do to make that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even then, if it happens sooner rather than later, only way you're getting rid of that is if it's trash.
True.
If it's cool, you're still going to stay in the game. You're still going to try to. You're gonna get to know her through osmosis.
Oh wait, we forgot to talk about post-nut clarity, because that's also a key factor. Like, if you get that knocked out soon, if you get that knocked out sooner, you'll sooner figure out if you like her or not. Like, let me get this out. and then be like, no, or oh no, I can do this. This is a 5 to 10 minute window. I'm gonna know.
Imagine if you smashed that chick on her mattress on the floor and then look back like, hey, I didn't have to buy her all that stuff. I don't really like her.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. Very true. So, but let me see. We got a bunch of
A whole bunch.
here, so I'm gonna slide through real quick. So Wendine said, "Hey peeps." Wifey said, "What's up, fellas?" And she said, "Y'all didn't tell Will to come up with a nickname." I did at first. He got one. He got one now. So let's see. Wendine said he should have a good health plan when seeking a relationship because you played with my feelings. We're gonna use it. You violent?
Everybody's scared of Wendy.
Wendine violent.
That's what she
And
said.
then she said, Danielle, right? It's mandatory. Wendine said she likes Will's t-shirt, or sorry, Stacks.
Was in his t-shirt. She lying.
All right, Wendine said, "What's the secret?" I mean, I'm gonna just comment on that. Honestly, to me, there's really no secret to marriage, in my opinion. I don't think there's a secret like that. At the end of the day, I mean, we're all naturally selfish individuals. For a relationship to work, you have to
Be selfish.
compromise. I mean, there's picking your battles. There's compromise. You're gonna argue. You're gonna have problems, just like in any relationship. But the difference with marriage is,
It's expensive to leave.
Huh? What'd you say?
It's expensive to leave. That's the difference.
Yeah.
There are deterrents in the way.
Not just financially, but I mean, breaking up your family, and depending on the age of the kids and so on and so forth. I mean, it's a lot, And I mean, I grew up in a family that divorced, and witnessed things growing up. And I mean, those are things that you really don't forget, And it comes down to, you have to, and especially since we speak it to the man, you really have to look at, is whatever going on worth breaking up the family, breaking up, your kids. I mean, my kids adore me. I mean, let's be real. My wife, she know it. I think my kids like me more than her. But there's just, there's a lot of different things that, happen when you're dealing with kids. When kids are involved, it's a whole other situation. So anytime for you single folks, if you ever hear a married person say, it's not that easy to just leave, just understand that, because you ain't went through it, you ain't dealt with it. Hear what they saying. When you get in a relationship, in a marriage, you'll understand why they say it's not that easy to just leave. Folks do leave. Yeah, they do. Some go through hell dealing with it afterwards. I know it from folks I know that have divorced. So at the end of the day, you have to really sit back and think, what can I do to keep my marriage together? And like Stack said earlier, when it comes to getting in a relationship, making that decision to stay away from certain things, because dang well, if this same thing happened to you, if you would have a problem with it, then don't do it. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. But I mean, if there's any secret to marriage, now everybody don't practice this. I don't always practice this because, like I said, I'm selfish too. If you want a relationship to work, the key to it would be stop focusing on yourself. I'll say each partner, because we all know everybody not married to a man and a woman. So if you focused on your significant others' wants and needs, and they did the same for you, you will have a great marriage. But that's hard to do because you're selfish. We get mad about things. We pull things away when we're not getting things, so on and so forth. I mean, it's natural. If you're not happy, you're not going to naturally try to make somebody else happy if you're not happy. Let's be real. But unfortunately, in marriages and relationships, in my opinion, we put jobs up here on a high pedestal, but we put our relationships down here. We'll take criticism from work and try our best at work to get that promotion, but you won't put that same effort into your relationship to promote your relationship so much better. So as men, if we focused on that, and I mean it's hard. I ain't gonna lie, it's hard. I be
You
boy.
skipped the whole middle. We talking to single dudes trying to date to get to marriage. We skipped the middle.
I'm just saying, but let's okay, let's take it back. Single dudes still, this is something that you have to look forward to. Single dudes need to know what they're getting themselves into when you get married. Because once you get married, like you said, it's not cheap to leave. You need to know what you're getting yourself into before you get there. You don't want to get there and then be trying to figure it out. And that's another thing too, as men, that we need to do with, we need to, as married men, reach back and holler at those single brothers in regards to things that we need to change, things that you might need to do. Men need to get together and communicate too. I mean, and be real with each other. Some brothers, if you
Yeah,
don't
let's
have
be real.
brothers in
I
your
don't think that dudes aspire to be married, so that conversation is moot. I
you said
think
you
I
said they
think
don't
you're
aspire.
inspired to get the girl of your dreams, and then you end up getting married. But I don't know many dudes who at 7 are like, I can't wait to be somebody's husband. Like
Not
that's
at
just not a conversation.
not at 7,
No, no,
but
no, 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 no. I'm not saying there's a problem with it, but I'm saying that is a very small percentage of us. So to have that conversation would just be awkward because most of those dudes don't.
No, it's not, and I see where Sam is going with that. Because for those guys that are hanging out, you know what I'm saying, with the rest of the fellas and whatnot that want to learn what it means to actually be a husband, they're going to start paying attention. And they're going to be absorbing that conversation and learning, okay, you know what? Let me not make this mistake. Let me not make that mistake because I heard OG over here tell me what happened when he did it with him and his wife or his ex-wife. And he knew not to make that mistake with his next wife. Cool, got it. So it can work if that brother, that young brother that's coming up is looking for that information. Now, do we need to go preach it to the masses? I mean, we here right now trying to do that, but some gonna receive it, some are not.
yeah.
So it is what it is at that point.
And to even throw this in there before I get back to the comments, us as men in relationships and or even married, we also have to watch, spreading the bad things about marriage, because that's another reason why men don't really want to get married. And it's not bad to talk about the things that you're going to go through, but then also put out there the bad that you're doing as well, because a lot of brothers don't want to share what they doing bad. They'll talk bad about their partner and what they're doing, but in that same token, they won't even put out there what they doing. But then again, like I said, when dealing with other brothers and other men that you're dealing with, we have to also hold our fellas accountable for what they are doing. If you hear them saying something that they not doing right, be there. Don't just be, trying to be cool with them and chop it up like, yeah, hey, forget that, man, this, that, and the other. If you see something that's wrong in that situation, step up and say something. I respect my guy more if he kind of check me when I'm wrong in a situation. And I got fellas that do that. If I'm wrong in a situation, let me know, because it gives me something to think about. Because at the end of the day, I'm mad about the situation, but I may not be thinking in the right mindset of what I could have done differently, or how I should have handled that differently as well. So that's another thing that we as men have to start doing with each other, keeping each other accountable in relationships and dealing with situations as well, because everybody don't always think on a level head. So let me keep rolling. Let's see. Wifey said you don't have to say long time like that, Sincere. It is long enough. longer than some people make it.
Double where I'm at.
Hey, you gonna get there. I like y'all. I like y'all. Let's see. Scott says Stack Jackson is nickname. Let's see. When Dean said about being with her for 14 years, gotcha. Don't make it past 30 days. Yeah, some folks don't. Let's see. Oh shoot, let me keep going. Let's see. When Dean said a lot of these women who want to be taken care of just offer stale coochie and dull conversations. Wow.
What is stale coochie?
When Dean, you got a question,
You
so
know
you
what
got
it
to come
is.
back and
You know
respond.
exactly what it is.
I want her definition.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
we gotta get it from Wendy. Wendy, you on a roll today, ain't you? A comment said a man that's trying is way more valuable than a man who just ain't trying at all and ain't got nothing. True, but unfortunately, some people don't even, or some women don't look at it that way. So I like your thought process. Let's see, and then those women don't want a partner; they want a sponsor or a daddy. Permission slip. I think Stack Jackson is coming for the cool nickname title. Oh man, dang, one game, boy, you do got a lot of comments on here. But we also got to talk about the women who want a leader but still want to control him. Like you can't have both, and when he ain't leading, you can't complain.
Hey, that piece right there, Wendine, I can agree to that. But something else we got to turn around and go back to too, which is another topic to bring up, is picking the right woman for you, understanding yourself and what you need and what you know you need for yourself, and who's going to be there to have your back. Because like Sincere said earlier, when he was down, his woman had his back, and vice versa. If you're trying to go after a city girl, do you think that's really going to be what you get out of that woman? I mean, let's be dead ass about it. So really think about that. That woman is out there working hard, that really want to get to it and get after it with you. That's the woman that's going to sit there and say, dang, you know what? Cool, you lost your job because of company setbacks, and it happens all the time. We're going to get back up. I got us, babe. Let's go. You know what? Boom. Get back to it together and y'all rock out. So, but yes, there are those women that they want to hold you basically by the nuts. Excuse my French.
Hey, that's legit. I'm gonna speak on that, but I'm gonna try to get to these comments because I'm glad you brought that up, because I was gonna give the wife a shout out, but I can hear her upstairs doing a live right now, so she upstairs selling jewelry. So if any of y'all want some jewelry, she got a page called was it Simply Chic Jewel? Y'all go buy some jewelry from her.
She said it already.
Did she?
Yeah.
I ain't made it down there yet. Okay. Let me see. The Wendine said, why would you do that much just for some meow, though?
I answered her. Don't worry about it.
Okay. I get to that then. She said, y'all definitely dropping gems. Appreciate you. Let's see. That's you. You've never had it. It's good. You're stupid.
So you want to argue? It's
So
the
you wanna
perfect
argue?
answer, though.
Hey, it's good. Yeah, it's
With
it
lots of
answers the
O's. Yeah.
What's up, LaMarcus? Let's see. When Dean said that goes for women too, though, because a lot of y'all try to overcompensate for what y'all lack. That's cool. That's fair. Holly said, I'm late, but I'm here. What's going on, Holly? Andre said, no, don't break up the family if you started the family. Hey,
agreed.
I like that. I like.
Hey, Holly got a comment towards the bottom. I got to get to as soon as you get down there. Ooh.
Okay. All right. So then wifey said, wait a minute. I don't know what she's saying. Wait a minute, fo. Joy said, I agree. It's not that easy to leave. Let's see. Andre said, no secret to marriage. Don't stand up there and lie and give your vows and then get a divorce. Stick with it. All right, let's see here. Let's see. Wifey said, okay, that's what she's talking about. Gotta go. Y'all come buy some jewelry for the ladies later. Ladies, after you're done, Simply Chic Jewelry. Y'all see the plug. I'm gonna let that run. Let's see. Key said, this makes me feel like men just don't want marriage at all. Geez, I'm still single and would like to be married, but shoot, if men are not wanting that, then what the heck? And men are wanting it. Don't listen to Mr. Permission Slip.
No, listen to me.
I think it's loaded. It's a valid thing. In my situation, when me and my wife started dating, I wasn't trying to it. I grew into that. But to say like straight up, I used to tell all the older women that I work with, try to set me up with their nieces and stuff. Hey, ma'am, I'm gonna get married when one foot is outside of the grave. Just because it wasn't appealing. Every marriage I saw had been terrible. Uncle come home, man, my old lady on this. I'm gonna stay here long as hell, so I don't have to deal with her ass. Like it was nothing. It was nothing even in society that puffed up the healthy black marriage. Still to this day, you still going to a store and see a single black mom holding the baby, but then in the same product, a whole white family together smiling and cheesing on that same product. So, like Big B said, it's one of the things that we have to push and change the narrative, like the narrative of the black dad. More and more, we starting to see, like, yo, I saw about probably like five Facebook messages, five Facebook statuses talking about, dog. I can't understand how some of y'all just not in y'all kids' life. I can't understand how y'all ain't dads and all this other stuff. And that's trending towards what? Showing that black men do want to be fathers. We do take care of our children. The one thing that we're always seeing is what? We don't want marriage, which is weird because black people get married all the time. But it's what we're seeing out there. We're not pushing, and this is married men. This is me, married guy speaking. Some of us aren't pushing the healthy, happy relationship. You seen me with my wife. That's my backbone. Like you said, unemployed. I was unemployed for a year and some change, hustling the whole time. She's like, "Well, put your resume here and here. I tossed your resume up there. You should be getting an email from this here." And she's taking care of the stuff in the background. She's taking care of me. She's my ride or die. Back to what y'all are saying. That's what in essence you got to search for. Could I have had the city girl? We all could have had the city girl.
We all did have the city
We
girl.
all did. We all did have the city
That's how
girl.
she got to be a city girl.
Some people still got her.
Some people still got her, but it's what
She's
are
old.
what are we looking for in a woman? What are we trying to figure out? And being within your means, man, that hit perfectly. Go for what you feel, and you know when somebody's gonna have your back.
Mhm.
You catch that off vibes when you talking to them, when you kicking it with them, from little things, from little gestures to big gestures. So I think it's to wrap up a long ass speech. It's something that we need to promote more as married men. Like, yo, this ain't that bad. This ain't bad at all. Do we have ups and downs? Yes. Is there arguments? Yes. But there's no secret. There's no secret to marriage, man. Get somebody you happy with and fight to keep them.
Yeah. And to your point, I mean, that's exactly why I said that earlier, that the biggest issue is married men or men in relationships complaining about certain things, but we're not always sharing. We do this in other aspects of life too. We complain about certain things, but then we don't always celebrate and get excited about the good things, and we make it seem like this is not what you want. This is not what you want. And I've also grown up, and seen so many marriages, break up. My grandfather, I think out of all, and although I've had some aunts and uncles pass away, but on my dad's side, seven kids, my mom's side, 7 kids. That's 14 individuals besides my parents' relationship. My parents were divorced. The only out of all of those is 14 people, I think, man, who still was married? Not even 50%, if any of them were married. And it's like, when you see that growing up, you don't really look for it. Like I agree with you, Mr. Slip, when you mentioned that, as a kid, I wasn't thinking about marriage, necessarily. But as I got older, college, so on and so forth, man, I was picking out. I mean, yeah, I wanted kids, but I told myself I was not trying to have kids before marriage because I saw the issues that other people that I knew were dealing with. And I made it. I was able to have those kids. Now I got these. Now I'm getting old, and I got young kids. Unfortunately, So I'm looking at that like, dang, am I gonna be able to play with these mugs? When they get a little older, I'm looking at. I'm gonna be this age when they graduate high school and all this other stuff. But I made a goal for myself, and I achieved that goal. And at the end of the day, if I can give any advice to any single brother or anybody, period, don't let what you saw in your past dictate what you want in your future. Because just because these other relationships didn't work, you weren't in those relationships, so you don't know why they didn't work. You don't know who was doing what or what was lacking and why they were lacking. And like I said, a lot of times you won't hear those things. You will only hear the bad things. And unfortunately, that can shape your thoughts on the certain aspects when it comes to marriages, relationships, so on and so forth. So don't let that be the case. But yeah, I'm gonna get back off my soapbox, and I'm gonna try to get back to these comments. But then I still got something to say. And like I said, I'm gonna give a shout out to the missus as well. But let me see. Let's see. Mr. Flip said marriage is only an aspiration if the woman is extraordinary by his standards. I can agree with that. Holly said, I want to add on and open up a larger discussion. How does a woman who doesn't need a sponsor financially convince a man that can't currently provide financially that his character and other qualities are enough?
You can't. You can't. The same way a man who has everything going on for him good can't convince a woman who is not in the same position that she's enough for him, because that's exactly what he wants. I actually had that problem. So when I seen that comment, I was like, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, but it just ain't adding up.
Yeah.
And it maybe they feel like, I think maybe they feel like you're going to try to run over them or be your boss, like you're at work or something like that. So I let that go. I can't help them.
It has a lot to do with, I mean, social media.
Self-esteem.
I mean, just in life. I mean, just look at everything that's on social media. A man's supposed to be this. A man's supposed to be this. A woman can be whatever and bring dang near nothing, but a man has to be this in order to be accepted by society. And it's tough on men. I mean, you dang near got to be doing everything unless you got your junk swinging around your ankles and a woman is willing to pay everything and keep you around for that because you beating up the box. Great. Because there's a lot of women that will settle for that. They're okay with you not having these things and whatnot. But like just like you're okay with it. But because society deems it a man not worthy, most men will not accept it for themselves because they don't want to feel less than. So that's just me. I don't know if either y'all other two got anything to add or say to her comment.
I say the baseline is fear. Fear in the what if. There's too much room for you being choosy if I'm your Louis Vuitton hand purse, I'm your trophy dude.
Mhm.
So me as a man, I'm gonna always have to prove my worth. And if my character is something that you're attracted to, that's beautiful. If you believe in me, you believe I'm a great man, that's beautiful. But when we step out, when we're out there, it's a hard sell for a guy to be completely complacent with you being it's just hard to believe nowadays. It's hard to believe that you want me when you are presented other options. women are always presented other options,
Mhm.
no matter married, single, young, old. They're always presented other options
Unless you're ugly.
unless you're ugly. Even then, there's some dudes out there that love ugly.
Especially if they ain't wearing nothing.
Exactly. Hey, ugly, ugly don't matter in the dark.
Yeah.
But when when you're putting all the pros and cons together, it's like, man, she says I have a beautiful soul, but she driving in this Benz and I'm in this Civic.
Mm.
She working in this company and I went to their holiday party. I seen how dude talk to her. I seen how dude look at her. And he making bread on the same level. It's outside things that come into it that make you like, yo, either one, I gotta boss up and level up, or two, I'm not even gonna put myself in a position to be vulnerable enough to get dropped off. Because that's what happens. That's what happens when that's what we see.
Mhm.
We see when chick brings dude up. They not you like, man, how he pulled her, da 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 this, da da that. Man, boom, he gone. Crying on his Facebook live feed. She dumped me, bro. She dumped me. No, nobody want that feeling.
Mhm.
Nobody does.
Mr. P, you got anything? I don't know if you sleep.
First off, my glasses ain't thick and they not tinted. You see my eyeballs.
Actually, I see your reflection of your laptop.
Don't be ahead of your whole life. No, I'm along the same lines as Stat. I mean, I think if you wanted a popular example, what's the dude's name who does date Megan Thee Stallion? This is Party Fontaine, right? Party Fontaine is a nobody by comparison. It was a mismatch by social standards from jump. Comparatively, he's much lower on the economic scale. She has all these issues, all her businesses out there, what she did and didn't do, he rode. This is who I want, this is who I want to be with. And then the soccer player hit her up that makes a lot more money than she does. And then, hypergamous nature kicks in. You can stay with the loser with the good heart that was with you through the trouble, or you can upgrade your lifestyle and secure your future potentially for a long time. And I think that a lot of dudes are aware of the competitive nature of relationships and the hypergamous nature of women. Like, there's no guy who's surprised when a woman is presented with another man that's roughly the same as him with much more income, and she chooses to do with income. As a matter of fact, we have conversations about it. Yo, what happened to such and such? Man, that dude with the such and such hit her up, and yeah, bro, I can't compete with that. Nobody's mad. We understand what it is. So you're now the outlier, and you're fighting a societal norm that he has grown accustomed to and believes in because real life has shown it to be true.
Yeah. Man, I just realized we've been on here for 48 minutes. God, dog.
Yep.
It's been good conversation though, because clearly we've been talking and we've been basically on the same thing, but got hella comments. Let me keep going. Let me see. When Dean saying, and I don't want it. She talking about what you was talking about, the poon tang pie. Danielle said just now tuning in can tell what. Oh, can you tell what the topic is about? Dude, where are we at now?
They didn't have a whole sidebar conversation on the side.
Okay. Well, he was gonna keep it moving. Oh, okay. She told you, Danielle. Let me keep going. When Dean said, but is that just a thing with brothers though? But there are a lot of married single mothers. Huh?
Huh?
A lot of married single mothers as well.
I guess I'm
Yeah,
saying
she was a single mother that got married.
I'm gonna need you to bring that update us on what you mean by that. All right. Danielle said anything specific. Basically, Danielle, just to if you're lost, we basically just giving advice to men, trying to help men get better. I mean, we're talking about a lot of different things. We're talking about marriage and how to be better in marriage, how to you know, just in general, better in relationships in general, better in life. Because we trying to grow some brothers up. You know what I mean? We trying to help brothers out is what we're trying to do here. Let me see. When Dean says stack, you got a soldier. Okay. That's what's up. Let's see. Brian, you said more. So how to better men? Okay, so you answered that question. He said, I see more happy black women with white men. Not all, but I live downtown where there are a lot of interracial couples.
You know what? I actually encourage that. I encourage it because there's not enough good black men out here for you. If I'm gonna be 100% honest about it, the numbers are showing that we too far in jail. We're being raised to be sissies and all this other bullshit. Excuse my French, and I don't care. But that's my true feeling on that. Go ahead and get you.
Blacks don't care about your feelings. Like that math ain't mathing. Like that's not a real thing. It's not a real thing.
Go do it.
Hey.
Okay, now if you say we have a higher incarceration rate, sure, not a problem.
Yes.
There are tons of single, available, willing men. They don't want them back. And it was disproportionate to start with. So you can say that we have eliminated candidates, but I would volunteer that the candidates that they find suitable don't find them suitable, and they don't find good matches suitable. So therefore they're single. So go explore, do whatever you want to do. But what we're not going to do is act like every black dude likes black dudes, and every black dude is in jail, and there's only 7 out in the streets trying to be a productive citizen. We're not going to do that. Can't allow it. So we can Google if you want to, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna win that. I'm gonna win that one.
Oh, they about to fight.
We don't fight.
No,
we respectfully disagree, but we don't fight.
He's 100% right. I'm in a conversation. Okay, cool. You want to go to white men? Yo, go to white men. I don't give a damn. And to be honest with you, guess what? My daughter's mother ain't even black.
She not, but she cooked though.
And you respected the two, didn't you?
Verena, if you can hear me, I miss you, girl.
Thank you.
Really?
Nah.
All right, so let's see. When Dean said, Key, somebody told me that too. They told me if I want to get married, I have to go outside the race.
They had a whole conversation.
Okay.
They had a whole keep scrolling.
I got you. Well, I gotta show it. I just want to see it. Let's see. Andre said marriage is supposed to be the representation of Christ in the church, period. If the man isn't submitting himself,
no, it's paradox. Since he wrote it stupid, you say it's stupid. Christ in the church, paradox.
Period. It's stupid. Hey, look, I read how it's supposed to look, how it's supposed to be said. You know, it's hard for me to just read it wrong sometimes. But he said, if the man isn't submitting himself to the Lord, the woman won't have an example of submission.
I think, what is it? It's Ephesians 5, verse 22. Read that on down. That hits hard on what Dre said right there.
Gotcha. All right, let me see what Keith said. I've been seeing much of that. People are really genuinely happy. That says a lot. You could be happy in any relationship. It doesn't matter the race. Happiness can be found. The problem is, how can I say this?
No, let me do it.
Okay, go ahead.
we don't care if you go outside of your race, right? So if you haven't, we don't care because we probably didn't want you. I don't mean that disrespectfully, but we tend to gravitate towards our own people. And if we gravitate otherwise, you either don't want us or we don't want you, and that's fine. Do what you want. We don't really care when you date white dudes. Black dudes don't get upset about that. What I think the difference is there's a disposition difference when you interact with other people, which makes you less successful with one pool and more successful with the other, because you feel like you can't function within the same capacity and get positive results with other races. That's generally the difference, right? You may not have the same standards for us as you have for them, right? Because my bar, I got to be the best chocolate man in the world. He's just got to be good to you. Whereas just being good to you may not have been good enough for a black dude. I had to be the best one. And even if all things are equal, if that's just what you like, nobody cares. If she happens to be handled, she could be happy with an Indian dude, a Turkish cat. Like, we do not care. Like, Pick like who likes you. Great. No big deal. But don't attribute that to a lack by another race. Because if we start playing that game, y'all get real upset when we start making fair comparisons between one group or another, one culture or another, how one group presents itself versus another, how they select partners versus another. Now, if we want to make that black-white and you want to play that game, your feelings are going to be hurt when it's over. So what I think we should close out by saying is if that's who you like, go over there. If this is what you like, stay over here. If you're undecided, no problem. They'll make the decision for you. Just hang out long enough. And I'm done. That was polite. No curse words.
It was polite. It was polite. When Dean said, talking back to Key, all men have their issues by far, but it just seems like brothers don't want sisters anymore. That's not true. Not true at all.
Indeed. The facts don't care about your feelings.
It's
Black dudes
not
marry black women. I'm going to say this.
How do you know that? How do you know we don't know you when you don't know all men? That's what gets me. You know what? This was not about talking to women. It was about talking to men today. I'm going on.
Well, it's coming up in the comments.
That's where these statements coming from. They assume that we are all the same. We are cookie cutter. We are players. Pimps only care about big booties, big titties. They assume that we are the same, and in essence, it's not.
Which is weird.
Because it makes themselves look bad. They don't get that. You
like we're saying the opposite of all of the things that they accuse us of. The truth is it's easier to say that we don't want you than it is to say that you don't meet the bar. It's easier to blame the other party than to have some introspection. But if you talk to a group of black men and say, historically, y'all have done X, we go, okay, cool. The next batch is doing this, and this that you said we weren't doing in the previous generation. We learned, we improved. Unfortunately, when we kind of look at our counterparts on the opposite side of the table, you're in rapid decline. All of the things that we admired about you, you are actively working against. You are proud of your inability to partner. You work at it. You practice. You celebrate. You cheerlead. You congregate. And then you get on social media and perpetuate absolute lies. So at no point do you have to look at yourself and go, I wonder what I'm doing wrong that men of any color don't want to partner with me. But since the ones I'm familiar with and I'm around happen to look like me, I'm going to blame them for me being single. Men don't like you, not black men don't like you.
Level of what you're willing to take is insanely.
Why are you laughing, Sincere?
Insanely disproportionate. If you're gonna equate everything to a racial divide, it's a racial divide. It's just black men don't want me. You got to start looking at your standards of what you're going for, because that guy that is probably working at fucking Jiffy Lube might treat you like a queen, but since he's working at Jiffy Lube, he doesn't have a chance.
He doesn't fit that status quo.
Doesn't fit the status quo. If he hitting you in your DMs, I don't talk to dudes that talk to me in my DMs. Like, you feel me? It's not. It's putting a gold filter on shit. You still have shit, right? So instead of me, and this is coming from me, half my family's interracial. I have no issues with it. We're all agreeing outstandingly. No, we don't care. But you care that we don't care. And that's what is making you start looking from that skew. Instead of seeing a big picture, you're looking at it through this, and I'm only seeing bits and pieces of it. Like Permission Slip said, since the black guy doesn't want me, it has to be them. Has to be him. And by him, I mean them, all of them. It's wild, man. I'm not old, but you never see any other race go on line and bash their race. You don't necessarily white men are trash. White men are terrible. You never see Hispanic women saying Hispanic men are horrible. But you see it in our community. And that hurts us. That hurts me.
So why would you want to be with a black woman? She's always doing anyway. We're gonna wrap this up today. We had a good one here. Sincere, did you have anything to add before I close this out?
Nah, I mean, yeah, I was about to say we. Unfortunately, I didn't get to all y'all comments, but y'all was going in. We gonna finish this up next week. We gonna bring it back. So, yeah, because I'm hungry. Mr. Permission Slip is hungry.
I'm hungry.
Big B hungry.
Always hungry.
Stack still got to eat. You know, we trying to watch our boyish figures out here. Okay, you know what I'm saying?
Dad, real quick though, before we go, Dre said something that I gotta hit on this real quick. This is the last comment. That men need to deepen their relationship with the creator.
I'll show it real quick.
Okay. So men need to deepen their relationship with the creator in order to become successful in their interpersonal relationships. And that's a fact. I couldn't agree with you more, Dre. Like I just said there, Ephesians 5-22 speaks to wives and husbands on what they need to do for one another and what it meant and what you mentioned before. So I that right there is the foundation, in my opinion. If you before you go anywhere and get any relationship. So I'm out. Y'all be cool. Stay black.
No choice. Bye.
All right, we got to cut out. We'll holler at y'all next week. Same time, same back channel. We out of here. Peace out.